Thank you for joining us today for the virtual Sunday service with the Center for Creative Living. CCL, a charter of the Universal Church of the Master, has served and supported the spiritual needs of its community here in the Bay Area for over 20 years.
Good morning, and welcome, and thank you all for being brave enough to come back and be part of our group after yesterday. That was quite a lot of excitement and energy, and I want to thank all the people that helped. We finally closed down the whole party, about 11 o'clock last night, and everybody finally because a lot of people came over to the house afterwards, and they stayed and it was very exciting, to have that. And my son and his lady maybe that's one of the reasons we're starting just a little bit late. He said try to be here right at 11, but who knows what's going on. And so
I want to thank everybody who toted and
people who hauled things and had to walk long distances, and who entertained and who set up and tore down. I mean, putting on a party of that size, we had about 45 people.
It was a very well organized, unorganized
Chaos.
takedown. I mean, everybody just did what needed to be done. Nobody needed to be told anything. It was just really wonderful.
And the only big glitch was they wanted us to sweep the floor, and there was no broom. And so finally we got a broom and swept the floor, and the guy came and said, there's this and this and this. And we said, and they said, My son went down with Corky and said, and it was there when we got here. And he went, okay. So we got signed off, so we get our deposit back, But a lot of it was real interesting, the way things were going on.
And it wasn't that he was saying, that was here before, so I'm not going to sweep it. It's that it was caught in the cracks, so it was very difficult to get.
Yeah. So, but hey, thank you so much. It was enjoyable. Today, I want to talk about what happened with our Lahaina fundraiser. I had put out to the universe that we raise $1,000, and as of this morning, and we still have more money coming in. Hello, come on in. We found out that we made it by 1,010. So for anything else that people have said that they mark, Lahaina is going to be going to that. So we want to thank you all for doing this wonderful giving that you did, and we really do appreciate it.
PayPal yet.
Yeah, we haven't done PayPal yet, and we haven't. Somebody put a check in a glove box, and we haven't even looked at it yet. So we're going to be over $1,000, and I'm so excited because for a little church, we really did an outreach, and we appreciate it. And those of you who didn't make the party, it was fun. Ronnie sang, which is always good. A dear friend of mine, Dan Zulovic, who's been in a lot of different shows, sang a wonderful song for me. And we had a great time. The food was delicious. Thank you, Chris and Robin. The help was amazing. Thank you. My son, Bob, and his lady, Julia, are here. Thank you so much for toting and carrying. And Ed, thank you for bringing soft, cushy chairs to people who had a hard time getting out of the folding chairs. And everything it flowed. People got together and they had a good time, and it was very enjoyable. And I want to thank you all for being a part of that. I mean, what a wonderful day. So, speaking of wonderful days, here we are this morning, and I'd like somebody to open up with a prayer. Think about it for a minute while I ask if there's anybody else who has a birthday coming up this week.
You do.
I know I do. Thank you, dear. But Kevin, I don't think you've done an opening prayer.
Well, not for a while.
Come on up.
Why aren't there any birthdays?
Why aren't there any birthdays?
I'm December.
What did you say, Jean?
I'm a December baby.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Kevin, behind the mic.
Oh, behind the mic.
Closer to Dottie, closer.
All right,
Sarah,
okay.
close it. Oh, here we go.
Father, Creator, Spirit, I thank you for Dottie's first Uranian year and the beginning of her 85th trip around Seoul. We pray for the people in Lahaina and all other people in UCM and CCL that are currently in need of all the prayers that we can give them. And I just ask that you be with us all today and in the week to come. Amen.
Thank you so much.
Good prayer.
For some of you, it's you feel like that's easy. You just hop up there and do it. It takes a lot to be able to just jump up and say a prayer. Thank you, Kevin. I think that was really great. One of the things that we brought here today were cookies. We've got bags there, so you can take home cookies. They're from the party. We've got macadamia cookies, and we've got snickerdoodles, homemade snickerdoodles by our wonderful Jim Gonzalez. Some of you who don't know who he is, but he's one of the trustees of CCL. And he was there and helped clean up and made cookies and was a big part of yesterday's group too. So, and I think maybe we should mention April is a trustee of CCL, and Jim is, and Lauren, and Corky, and myself, and Annie Corbin, and she's still a trustee, even though she's now in Oregon. So
Like Donna Zaner.
And Donna Zaner, who is up near Reno in Verdi. So we're going to be having a board meeting very shortly, and so if there's anything you'd like to talk about with CCL, either talk to April or Corky or myself and say, this is some things I think we ought to be doing and the things we ought to be changing.
You'll have Lauren from Greece and...
Now, Lauren from Greece, yeah, our trustees travel quite a bit. They very, very exciting there. The other thing that I would like to talk about is that we are looking for another space. We find that there's a lot of disruption in this space that when we're here, that sometimes the parking lot is full and people can't park. There's a lot of different things going on. We don't have a place to store things, and so if you happen to know of a place that is looking for tenants on a part-time basis, and that's pretty part-time when it's just once a month, let us know. We could travel. Couldn't we travel, Ed?
Yeah, once a week.
Once a week, okay. So, and with always thanking all those people that helped us. Ed was there with the microphone and with the chairs and everything else. So we really do appreciate you all and your hard work. And April greeted everybody at the door and gave them a lei, and that was she was there being the voice of the party, and she and Sherry. So that was pretty good. Yeah. Anybody have any thing they want to announce?
Oh, Sherry broke her wrist.
Oh, Sherry broke her wrist. And for those of you who didn't see her yesterday, her wrist is in a cast, and so she's hopefully healing. She tripped and fell, and have that going. And we really do appreciate her being there yesterday, even though she was in pain from that. At one point in time, was it just last week that April, you were in the hospital and Sherry was in the hospital?
That was...
Or was that a week ago? Yeah.
Wednesday?
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting thing to have people from CCL and Ed O'Connor. So we did that, and that was...
We were in the house.
Yeah, we were, CCL was in the house. Yes, Joan?
After all of that news, I wanted to come up and give some good news.
Okay.
Yay!
Well, yeah, we'd love to hear some.
So as you know, I was on an Alaskan cruise this last week, and it was just a fabulous experience. If you've not done that cruise, I invite you to consider it for next summer. We had absolutely fabulous weather. The ranger said, on this exceptionally beautiful Alaskan day, and everyone was commenting on it. I said, I always have good weather whenever I travel, so you need to travel with me. But how many of you have been on a cruise ship? Yeah, a few of you. Okay, it's a really nice experience. They have a lot of different activities, and I totally enjoyed, and I was with my grandson, Jeremy, and he totally had a wonderful time. And so, and I danced for about 10 minutes before I ran out of breath. It's all on Facebook.
Did a great job.
And I did line dancing for another 10 minutes. But, you know, as you get older, sometimes you tend to shrink in. I was a little nervous about going on this cruise. Sometimes we want to shrink in and feel safe, be in environments where you feel safe. And I think one way of staying young, or young at heart, or interesting, or vibrant, extending your life, and is to try new things. I've never done line dancing before, and it was just a really nice experience. So I invite you to explore new things this week. We've had a lot of drama and trauma this summer, but we're going into the fall, and it's time to start thinking about new things. What can I do in this next month? What can I do next year? I made the decision in last June to change my life, and so that ended up being going to Paris, getting hip replacement, and going on a cruise. You know, nothing major. But you can, my point is, you can change your life, especially here with our teachings. As you grow in your teachings and your faith in the outcome of your visions, you can have a wonderful life going ahead, no matter how old you are, even in the Uranus return, right? Yeah. So she had a wonderful party. I'm sorry I missed it. I have a severe tooth problem, so I missed it yesterday. But we're coming up into September, a new quarter, and I invite you to think about how you can change your life for expansion. And a lot of us did last year through going through the ministerial program. That was another expansion. Okay, how are you going to expand this year? And go dancing in the cruise ship.
Yeah, and stay going.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Joe. That was
Yay,
great.
Joe. Thank you for coming
Dottie.
home.
So we stay current. Susan Moon had come on. Good morning. Hope you all have a great day. And then from Ann Corbin, Susan and I celebrate birthdays in a couple of weeks. From Eileen, check with Flo at Campbell United Christian Church. They may be able to help with the space. From Ann, it was fun watching Joan on her Alaska cruise. Followed her on Facebook. From Patty and Joyce, great message, Joan. Thank you.
Thank you. Well,
Yay.
thank you. I really, really do appreciate it. How do you celebrate your life? Joan just shared with us how she celebrates her life. But what do you do? So many times people wait for something to celebrate. And they don't celebrate the little things. They don't celebrate, you woke up this morning. That's a great celebration. I think about the celebrations you've had, whether it's been a birthday, whether it was maybe there was a child born in your family, or you had a baby, maybe there was grandchildren that came along. There's so many different things that you can celebrate. But people don't realize you can celebrate every day. So think about that. Celebrating your life is the most important thing you can do. And when you think about celebration, when and how do you celebrate, even birthdays? I talk to people and I say, what are you going to do for your birthday? And so nothing, it's just another day. No, it's not. How many birthdays do you have in your lifetime?
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully, it's a few, okay? Hopefully it's like Joan and I, who are over 80. We are celebrating every day because we're so glad to be here. And don't just look at your life and say, oh, well, I don't have much to celebrate. You do. You have your ability to get up in the morning, to move forward, and to change your life. The only one that can really change your life is you. And so that's what, when Jonah was talking about going on a cruise, it doesn't even need to be a cruise. It can be a walk to the park. It can be something that you haven't done before. You're never too old to do new things, so start looking at what that might be. The thing that I find so interesting is that people say, well, I don't even remember my birthday. What do you mean you don't remember your birthday? Well, you know, it's just another day. Well, how many of you can remember more than 3 celebrations in your life? I want you to think about it. Yeah, what did you celebrate? Do you celebrate your birthday? Did you celebrate your child's birthday? Yeah. Did you celebrate graduating from high school or college or?
Yeah.
Okay. And did you just ignore it and go, oh well, I'm another year older, or I got another degree, or something like that? Think about what that was, because I want you to realize how important they are. And you know, give other people a high five. Or, yeah, because that's one of those things that remind yourself to celebrate other people. Well, we're going to celebrate this morning by listening to our wonderful Tim. And Tim, are you going to be doing a meditation, or are you going to be what are you going to do for us today?
That's something we should have discussed earlier. Did you want to start by doing a meditation?
Okay, I will. Because we're going to be meditating on a type of celebration. And this is being alive. So I want you all to close your eyes. And take a nice deep breath. And as you follow the sound of my voice, I want you to take a walk with me, a journey as it were, through your life. And the days that were special. And in your life, the first day that was very special is when you were born. So just feel that energy, having been somewhere very quiet and very still. And then all of a sudden, the world opens up to you. And there's light and sound and people and energy. And the first sound you make is a cry. And that's a cry of celebration. The joy of being here. The joy of being on the planet. And the next celebration, think about the first day you went to school. All dressed up, all excited, and celebrating something new and something changing. And then I want you to think about some of the next celebrations. Maybe the next celebration is sitting next to somebody in a classroom and feeling a special thrill at having them there near you. Or the celebration could be getting an A on a difficult course that you were taking. Think about the celebrations during high school. Think about going to football games or being a football player or something where there was cheers and applause. And then as you go on in your life and think maybe about marriage, watching your bride come down the aisle or seeing your groom standing there and feeling that your heart racing. This is one of those glorious celebrations. And as you move forward, you'll find that the birth of children or grandchildren are things to celebrate. And becoming a minister was one of those things to celebrate. And as you feel that welling up in your heart of all the things you have in life, some of you even celebrated getting well after a long illness. How many celebrations do you have? You have as many as you make. So right now, feel your heart open. Just feel your heart open to celebrating today. And feel the joy and the energy in being alive. With your feet on the floor, your bottom on the chair, your head looking forward, and feel that energy flowing down through your chakras and enlivening you. And when you're ready, Tim.
The road that you take to follow your bliss is constantly under construction. So giving your best to this day puts you in the best place for the next one. It's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. So wake up now. Every sage has a past and every learner a future. So turn your face to the sun and the shadows will fall behind you. It's not where you've been that holds you back. It's the fear of where you might go. So wake up now to the truth of yourself. I've seen my dream, I've seen my potential, now watch my rising. Speaking the words and feeling their depth and then mobilizing. It's not where you're from, nor even where you are now. It's where you make up your mind to be. When you take that first step and be mindful of that direction and imagine the possibility of where you could be. Do you dare now? Well, do you?
Thank you so very much, Tim. How wonderful.
Gosh.
Thank you.
That's your song. Hope you enjoy it.
Oh my gosh.
That's
it's
great. Thank you so very
beautiful.
much. It's beautiful. Okay, so when we talk about celebrating, I don't know, but you are not alone if you don't feel like celebrating yourself. There are so many times, I don't know if you've had parents who would say, oh, don't bring attention to yourself, or don't brag about what you're doing, or don't brag about, you know, the things that you were doing are made wrong when you were just celebrating who you are. So think about that. I'm worth celebrating. That's why every year I have a birthday party. I met Ed at my 50th birthday party, and we had a small group of about 250 people at a park. And it was quite a get-together. And he's hung out. I mean, here he is. And I'm now 85 in a few days. And it's been a celebration all the time. We have celebrated so many different things. And when you think about that, the things that you might just have gotten up a few hours earlier or a few minutes earlier, celebrate it. Say, hey, I'm up and I'm ready to take on life and I'm ready to do something. So many times we wonder what it is that we're good at. And I want to share my story, and you've all heard this story before, but it was when I was 8 years old, and I was living in the desert in a little town called Lancaster, and I was pretty bored. There wasn't television at that point in time, and there was not much for a little chubby girl to be doing there, and no near neighbors. And so there was a tennis ball that someone had given me, and I had a piece of wood, and I decided that I could bounce that tennis ball up and down. And I got pretty good. And it was a little dirty white tennis ball. They didn't have colored ones at that time. And I would walk around doing that. And one day I did that 859 times. And I declared myself the champion of the world. And nobody doubted it. At least nobody argued about me being the best. And I was so tickled with myself. I kept trying to beat that. I never did. But you could just imagine, I know I'm walking around all by myself, just seeing how many times I could hit that silly tennis ball. Well, when I left there and went to the big city, and I was in junior high at Emerson Junior High School in Westwood, and they had a thing with a paddle with a ball on the end and a string, and I picked that up and I hit it, and I could keep hitting it. And I found I could do it two-handedly. And I was so good that when they had this thing where you could get up and show yourself, called an exhibition, at the break, I got up on the stage and did it and won applause because, look at it. Well, what had I done? I'd just taken a natural talent I had, hit a ball with a piece of wood, and became, ta-da, the star, And I went home, I was so proud of myself, and I was cheering on. Well, nobody else really thought it was that big a deal. I know that I had no little statues anywhere about Dottie hitting the paddle with the ball. And then the manufacturer changes the shape of the paddle. I don't know if you picked one of those up. They're smaller, the string's shorter, and the ball isn't as bouncy. Now I don't even do it. I'm not about to show you how poorly I do it. But think about things you did when you were young. Whether you're playing with matchbox cars and you realize you've got a longer string than anyone else had ever had. Or you pick up pebbles on the beach or collect seashells. When you were little, you were so proud of your accomplishments of things that didn't really make a lot of difference to other people, but you were celebratory. You enjoyed celebrating things. But what happened to that as you got older? Some people still collect things. Some people, you go to their house and they've collected awards, or unfortunately, there are people who collect guns and they're proud of their collection. There are people who collect all sorts of things, ceramic statues of various kinds. I happen to not collect as many things as I used to because I moved into a smaller place. But at one point I had collected over 1,000 owls. I had owl everything, and I got rid of that. And then I want to talk to you about a collection I had that was celebratory. My husband traveled a lot, all over. And I said one day, how do I know that you're thinking of me when you're traveling? Any of you ever had that when you have a spouse that's traveling or a friend that's traveling? Do you think about me? And he said, well, I don't know. And I said, well, you could bring back something. So we started collecting those souvenir spoons that you have everywhere you go. And at the time that he got done traveling, I had 2 boards with those spoons, and I had close to 700 spoons. And he'd bring me home one every time he came home. And so somebody walked in and said, oh, you have a spoon collection. And I said, no, I have a love collection. Aww. Because that meant that he had thought about me, even if it was at the airport. And, it was one of those things. I was celebrating something as simple as, oh, my husband came home from traveling. And so think about, what are you celebrating in your life? Because it doesn't have to be a special occasion. It can be that you woke up together. It can be that you woke up and it was a beautiful day. And when you think about that, what do you do when you hear it's somebody's birthday? Do you call them? Mm-hmm. Do you send them a text? Do you go by and drop something off? Do something to help them celebrate. Because lately it's been people after the pandemic, they are not as outgoing and they're not as receiving, because we kind of got scared, didn't we? And so, but think about that. Think about what is it you can do to help people, to help celebrate. And one of the things that I like about this, of being able to celebrate, is you can celebrate anything. So what do you have to celebrate today? Yourself. So what I would like for you to do is already start celebrating who you are. So I want everybody to stand up. Come on, stand up. Oh. Come on, you can do this. And the top of your voice, I want you to say, I deserve to be celebrated.
I deserve to be celebrated.
I am wonderful.
I am wonderful.
And Creator loves me.
And Creator loves me.
Now, just stay standing there for a minute and think about that. Think about what you said. Did you truly mean it?
Yeah.
Well, how do we know you truly meant it?
I said it.
You said it. Well, let's change it and say it one more time. Okay, and say your name. Okay, so I deserve to be celebrated.
Celebrated.
Yeah, and I am wonderful.
And I am wonderful.
And Creator loves me.
And Creator loves me.
And how does it feel different when you say your name?
Well, it makes it more personal.
It makes it more personal.
It's like, oh, I'm talking about me.
You're talking about you. So think about this all day today. And so right now, what I want you to do is go to at least 2 people and look them in the eye and say, you deserve to be to be celebrated. Okay, let's do it. Let's say, you deserve to be celebrated. You deserve to be celebrated.
You deserve to be celebrated.
You deserve to be celebrated.
You deserve to be celebrated. You are so wonderful.
You deserve to be celebrated.
Well, you deserve to be celebrated.
You deserve to be celebrated.
Yeah. Okay.
You deserve to be celebrated.
Damn right to you.
Yes.
So I would like to announce my celebration in that today is the first day in the last probably 4 or 5 years that I am feeling good. I'm on a new medication and I'm finally feeling it, and I don't have all the heaviness and the heart stress that I was having. So I am
Hallelujah!
Yeah, and so think about that. Think about what is it that you can do every day that makes you feel celebrated. And
Get up in the morning.
you're going to sing for us, Courtney? Okay, and just I've got some wonderful sayings that other people have said, and it says, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." That's Oscar Wilde. Don't you like that one? Be yourself. You were born to stand out. Stop trying to fit in. Okay. Don't compromise yourself. You're all you have. Okay. When you are content, be simply yourself and don't compare or compete. Everyone will respect you. Be your own celebrity. Chase your own self. You are worth infinite treasures of this planet. So what I want you to do is, anybody who wants to, this is a time you can celebrate yourself, something that you've done, something you're working on, and take that chance to stand up and say something to celebrate yourself just like our wonderful April did, because this is a chance to get some beads. So, okay,
Whoa,
let's have
beads.
somebody stand up and celebrate yourself.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Oh. Come on. Come on. Well, just to let you all know that as of what month is this? August 31st, I will be retiring from the office at UCM.
Okay.
That's what, this Thursday?
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Hey, what about beads for?
Freedom!
Okay.
Here we go.
Here you go, April. And these are the long ones. I won't tell you what you normally have to do to get these.
When we were when we were in New Orleans, yeah. Okay. Who else has something they want to celebrate about themselves? Amanda, yes.
Come on up. Around there, and then you got it, and there's my right here. Got it.
Okay. First off, I want to celebrate me becoming a minister.
Yay!
And then, and I don't mind saying this publicly because it does help me heal. So maybe, I mean, it may be a little personal, but I really don't mind because it helps me heal. But anyway, I went through some stuff this summer and I've had to let go of some stuff. So I am working on letting go of the resentment and accepting what is instead of what could have been or how it's been. There's a reason why this stuff happened, and like for an example, I had a counselor that I was comfortable with, and then when things came up, I didn't want to let go, so I was blaming everybody else. But now, today, I'm going to let go of that resentment and let what is and move on because things happen the way they were supposed to happen.
Don't worry. I'm going to give you some beads. That match the shirt you're wearing. Okay. If Corky, could you come help me put Amanda some beads on Amanda?
Sure.
Don't those look beautiful with her?
Yes,
top?
they do. Okay, so this goes up and over your head. There you go. Awesome. They really do match.
Yay, Amanda. Thank you for sharing. Okay. Who else has something to celebrate? Ruth.
So, part of it, okay, yes, I'm a minister now. That's amazing. But also, I wanted to do a shout out for my mother-in-law. I love her so much. She, when I said that I was graduating as a minister, she said, "Praise the Lord, God is good. You have been faithful in your spiritual growth."
Wow.
And I'm like, yes, Grandma Jean, thank you. And so I kind of wanted to celebrate her too.
Okay, and you have a choice between white, green, or silver.
I think I'll take silver this time.
Okay. Wear your beads proudly. You've earned them. Thank you so much, Minister Ruth. Okay, yeah. Okay,
there she goes.
Who else? Oh, I know this guy.
Yeah, you do.
Well, I'm celebrating my mommy's 85th birthday. She is the best mommy in the world. I love her to death. If she wasn't here, I wouldn't be here. It makes things everything. And then I'm also celebrating Miss Julia, the love of my life.
Yeah.
She gave me a card when I woke up this morning for a celebratory thing, unexpected. And it's just amazing to be in love with somebody and just to be happy. It makes all the difference in the world.
You've got choice. You want to wear, there we go. It looks like it matches. All right. Thank you so much, Bob. For those of you who haven't met my son, that's Bob Boon. And named Robert when he was born, but I think everybody's called him Bob or Bobby since then. And we're so glad to have you and Julia here all the way up from Oceanside. Thank you so very much. Okay.
The worker bees.
What?
They're the worker bees.
The worker bees yesterday.
part of
Yeah, they really worked it. Julia, why don't you come up here and get some beads to celebrate you? I know nothing like embarrassing her, okay?
Yay, embarrass her, it's family.
Yeah. Because I was talking to Amanda, and I saw these, and they look like you. I just like the coral look there.
Beautiful. Well, and I just celebrate being with all of you and being here, and celebrate my lovey over there every day.
That's beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah. Anybody else? And we have somebody new back there, and you are?
Oh, I'm Virginia Martin.
In Virginia, do you want to be celebrated for something today? How about the fact you're here?
Yeah.
Come on up and get some beads.
Okay. I have to tell you, it was a challenge to get here today. I've been planning to come and trying to figure out where the church was since I talked to Dottie earlier this year. Excuse me. And my maps wouldn't work. It opened up, but it kept going to preview, and I kept trying to get it to go to, it went to directions, but it wouldn't go to start. And then I kept getting telephone calls while I was driving, and I kept trying to ignore them. Yeah. And so I persevered and got here.
Yay! Celebrate! Welcome!
Thank
So
you.
you can take a silver or a green beans, and you just grab one and pull it, and there you go. And
Thank you.
celebrate all day. Look what you did. Look what you accomplished. Thank you, Virginia.
Thank you, Dottie.
Yay. And that takes bravery, like Virginia coming up here, like Julia coming up here. It takes bravery to be able to do that. And I want to thank you all very much for being a part of it. And keep thinking about what else you have that you can celebrate. And mention to people that you'll be surprised when you're saying you're celebrating things that people join in. They want to be a part of it. And, you know, how many of you feel that when you get a compliment that you wonder if you deserve it? Any of you ever do that? Somebody says, for instance, if I said to Kevin, you've got the most beautiful hair, you'd kind of go, you know.
Well, actually.
You don't do well with the
When my
compliment.
hair turned gray, it was the first time in my life that I ever liked looking at myself in the mirror.
But it's hard for him to take a compliment, and but receive compliments graciously, that's celebrating you. Like when we say to Tim, thank you so much for that song you composed today.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, we're celebrating you. We're celebrating something that you've accomplished that we couldn't do. And when you think of that, when you receive something, when you receive praise, just say thank you, but get really excited about it. Somebody noticed you. That is the greatest gift they can give you, is to notice you and notice that you're special. And sometimes you forget to toast your own accomplishments. You know, sometimes when you get up in the morning and you feel like, oh gosh, I don't know, what am I doing? What am I trying to do? Who do I think I am? Stop it and say, I'm alive and I'm awake. For sometimes that's the greatest accomplishment you're going to get all day.
Yeah,
so let's honor it. When that first cup of coffee was that first drink of water, whatever. When you brush your teeth, look in the mirror and say, I celebrate you. Because if you look at celebration as a part of your life, you get more excited about being here. Joan celebrates everything. Joan celebrates the fact she was on a cruise. Joan celebrated the fact that there were flowers growing in her garden. Joan celebrates the fact that she was walking better after her hip surgery. Joan celebrates, all these marvelous things. We even used to hear about her celebrating getting laid a long time ago.
That is something to celebrate.
That is something to celebrate. So think of celebrating the fact that you got up and you thanked Creator. Celebrate your life. And That's what I've done most of my life, is my birthdays have become, as I was mentioning earlier, my 50th, we had a National Semiconductor Park we took over, and we had over 250 people. And there was a little airplane flying overhead that said, "Happy birthday, love, Bob." I love from my husband then and Sam, love from Corky, love from all these different people. At the very end it said M. My granddaughter was very young and her name was Miranda, but it would cost per letter, so she became M. And this little plane circled around the park and everybody was cheering. And they were enjoying celebrating the fact that I had reached 50. Well, so now at 85, I'm still getting celebrations because I feel I deserve to be celebrated. Each one of you every day deserves to be celebrated. So start looking at what you can do. You know, our lives can be messy sometimes. Have you ever had a messy life?
Nah.
Yeah, okay. But they can also be beautiful. They might be imperfect, might not be completely perfect, but quite often they're just awe-inducing, where you go, oh, that was a great dinner. That was a great piece of cake. Oh, that was enjoyable. Think about those awe moments and think about celebrating it. And experience everything you do fully. When somebody walks up and says, "Hey, I recognize you," say thank you. Somebody might want to talk to you. You've never met them before, but they might say, "Hi, I want to say I'd like to such and such." Celebrate them for coming up to you. Say thank you so much. I don't know, have you ever been introduced to a celebrity or met a celebrity? And they say, "Oh, this is, you know," I was talking about an old test I had done of all the celebrities I run into or got hit by or some weird thing. But one of them was Hopalong Cassidy, who was much before most of your time, and meeting a cowboy star. And I remember, because he set me on his horse, Topper, and my mom said her name's Dottie. And he goes, "Dottie, it's so good to have you here." And I was only 3 years old, and I remember being set on a horse by Hopalong Cassidy. And I was celebrated. Think of those. For most people, so what? It wasn't a big deal. But to be able to remember something for 82 years, that must have been a big deal for that little girl. So think about in your life all the times that you were thought of for yourself as being special. And celebrate those. Celebrate them today. Because the small wins in your life are just as important as the large ones. And Joan, you wanted to say something? Whoops. When you get up here, you're also going to do the closing prayer.
Oh, okay. You know, not every day on a cruise is a banner day. There's up days and there's down days. And that one day had been kind of iffy. And I sat down and I said, okay, I want to go to dinner and have people to talk to me. Now you have to remember that in our studies, our prayers are answered. Now we don't always remember to ask, okay? And we don't always remember to ask out loud. Sometimes you don't have to ask out loud. But on that particular day, I had to ask out loud because I'd had kind of an iffy day. Do you ever have iffy days?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. This was an iffy day. I said, okay, I want to go to dinner and have people to talk to. Now on a cruise, they sit you at different tables and there's a lot of people around to talk. My vision was a table of 6 or 8 people with a lot of different conversations going on. So I finally found the restaurant, which is the hardest one on the boat to find, at the far back on the far corner. Finally got there, and she sat me down at a table for 2. Oh, I said, well, you know, I really wanted people to talk to. She said, well, you can talk to them. And I looked, and there were two older people sitting at the table next to me. And the one lady looked a little disabled, and she had fallen. You'd be surprised how many people got injured before they went on the cruise. I don't know how many people I talked to, they did something and injured themselves before they went on the cruise. So we talked a little bit, and I thought, well, this isn't exactly what I envisioned, but it was a nice conversation. Well, they got up and left, and these two guys came in and sat down on the other side of me, and they started chatting and bantering, and hi, who are you? Oh, I'm Joan. And they were two gay guys from Laguna Beach, California, good Californians, right? And we had so much fun. And they were so thrilled that I was open to talking about the gay experience, because apparently they don't always have that same reception. And I just had a wonderful evening. Well, what they do is they book that table for every night of their cruise. So they said, book your table and we'll just meet here every night. So every night, so did I get my prayer answered, number one?
Yes.
Not only for that night, but for the rest of the cruise. Woo! And they were in their 70s, they'd been together for 45 years, and they were like any married couple. They were bickering back and forth, and you know, the whole thing. And it was just so much fun to be with them and share experiences. And of course, I grew up in Southern California, so I know Laguna Beach. And so I just had a prayer answered, not only for that night, but for the rest of the cruise. And we exchanged emails and may end up on another cruise together. So I want to emphasize to you that we encourage you, we give you the opportunity. One of the teachings is the opportunity to ask for what you need and to receive that graciously and in abundance. Yes!
Yes!
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Opportunity answered with beads, yay!
Also too, when you are doing the prayer, Joan, so I've been waiting for my passport for a year now, and I hadn't gotten it. So if you can add that to your prayer.
That's unfortunate. Okay, any other comments?
And you too. Make your prayer every day out loud.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I invite you to think about this coming week as an expansion week. A week of expansion in your own life of prayers, verbal, nonverbal, asking for specific and asking for general improvement in life, for asking for the things that we need most, because all is available. Ask and it shall be given. That's the promise, folks. And yet we forget and we muddle along in our normal everyday life. Ask and it shall be given. So what would you like to ask for? Would you like to ask for good weather? Would you like to ask for good friends to contact you or to be receptive when you contact them? Would you like to ask for an expansion in your life? Would you like to ask for happiness? You know, a lot of people I talk to just randomly, they're not happy. They have this problem, that problem. Ask for happiness, because I chose to wake up happy several years ago. I chose to wake up happy every day no matter what was going on. And it just makes such a difference. It brings happiness into your life and it sends happiness out to other people. Our mission as ministers is to make the world a better place. Okay, how do we do that? We can wake up happy and we can expand our happiness out into the world, no matter what you're doing. So let's say you're not going on a cruise today, because I'm not, I don't think any of you are, but that doesn't mean you can't be happy. I have flowers growing in my garden. I came home and they're all still growing. Yay! So it makes me happy to have flowers growing in my garden. What are the small things that make you happy? Tim's music is so delightful, and he has those recordings available to us. So as you go forward, you can look up those recordings and re-experience that happiness and joy that comes from those recordings. And our talks are on YouTube, so you can re-experience that. But I'm going to close saying we have a wonderful and exceptionally wonderful week ahead of us. And I know that because we're going to ask for marvelous miracles every day. Ask and it shall be given. Thank you, Lord, for that promise. And thank you for those promises being kept. Amen?
Amen.
So it is.
And so it is.
Yay!
Yay! Yeah.
Okay, and we've got coffee, and we've got cookies, and we've got bags for you to take cookies home with you. So we're not getting free food anymore. That program has stopped. And so, but today we've got cookies and coffee and conversation.
And we have Zoom comments.
Zoom comments.
Dottie,
So,
you want to pass the basket?
I think that would be a great idea. And we've got baskets, and we luckily have made over $1,000 for our Lahaina donation, and this is donation for CCL.
Thank you.
Okay, yes.
okay, so from Zoom, Patty and Joyce, beautiful song, Sir Tim. And then from Ann, thank you for the beautiful song, Tim. From Ann, blessed be April. Patty and Joyce, wahoo, April. Eileen, wishing you the best, April. Ann, yay, Corky. This is fun. Eileen, thank you for all you have done and wishing you every joy in your retirement. Congrats, Amanda. From Ann, congrats, Amanda. Patty and Joyce, sending love and congratulations, Corky. Way to go, Amanda, and congratulations on your ministerial certificate. From Ann, yay, Ruth, congratulations. From Eileen there, blessings, Ruth. Patty and Joyce, beautiful blessings, Ruth. Back to Ann. Hi, Bob, you look great. So glad you are there to celebrate with family. Blessings to you and Julia. Patty and Joyce, much happiness to Bob and Julia. Love is abound. From Chris, Bob and Julia are awesome.
Yay!
We are so lucky they are part of the CCL family. From Gail, now that's a new Dottie story that I'd not heard. Back to Patty and Joyce, love the inspiring talk, Dottie. Thank you, Joan. From Ann, thank you for the great talk, Dottie. We celebrate with you and everyone. Sky to everyone, I love you, Mama Boon. Celebrate you and everyone. We are caught up.
Yay, thank you. And we celebrate you, Ed, for your hard work and all, putting everything together for us. Getting here early, doing all the work. Thank you so very much. We really do appreciate it.
It's a treat.
Okay, and thank you all. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Okay, it's time for coffee and cookies. Yeah.